The signature on this email says no snip snip. Okay, so it says, hey, Freak Show, I'm really excited about my wife giving birth to our very first baby boy in about a week. We've spent a lot of time planning for this arrival, decorated the baby room, and I put together the crib, the rocking chair. It's just a big time for us. There's one thing that we can't agree on is I don't want my son to get snipped while he's at the hospital. And when I say snipped, I mean I don't want him to be circumcised. What? That's a rough conversation for a Wednesday morning. Wow. Let's see. It says, I feel like it's completely unnecessary and it's archaic and it's unhealthy to remove perfectly good skin. It's just something that I've always thought about when I bring my boy into the world because it is not necessary. That protective barrier helps block bad bacteria. We're the only country that intentionally does this, and it leaves a child in pain, and I don't want it to happen. Of course, before we knew any better, that's what we were doing, but now my wife is completely against me even mentioning it. She thinks that he may be picked on. She thinks that it's a social ill. Where he's going to be dating and have to deal with that as well. She specifically mentioned the locker room might be an issue as he gets older. And this is my son, and I feel I should be protecting him, and I know she is too. But I'm raising him, and I would like to be heard and to feel like I'm being ignored. I don't know how to get this conversation back on the table where we could actually think about it and pick the right thing. But I wanted to write you guys to see what you had to say.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I mean, I can see how he could feel that way. I mean, if he's that way, he maybe wants to have his son that way as well.
He didn't say if he got the snip or whatever, but he did say it was archaic. So, like, I guess it was a thing. I mean, everybody pretty much.
It sounds like he don't.
Everybody pretty much looks the same, you know. So we don't really know how that went down. And I don't have boys, so I've never had to have this
decision
kind of decision made, or have this in my head. I didn't have to think about this at all. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know guys who have sons are out there battling this, but it's true. I don't want to just rotely say happy wife, happy life, but I mean, you know, the woman is always going to be in control of that. Yeah, I just feel like that.
Really?
And there literally is no negative consequences to getting a circumcision.
You're more sensitive down there.
Yeah, more sensitive, but there are a lot of health benefits to it on Google. It says easier hygiene, lower risk of urinary tract infection, lower risk of sexually transmitted infections, prevention of penile problems, and lower risk of penile cancer.
Okay, but
can we not say penile?
But these are all the things that they're literally all benefits. There's no negatives to getting a circumcision other than the fact that you think it's archaic.
No, wait a minute. It's not. There's a negative.
What is it?
You're taking a sharp object to somebody's undercarriage. That's a negative in my mind. It is.
They do what they have to do though to make them feel comfortable.
But it is more of an American thing. All over the world, it's not normal anywhere else. It's just. But by the way, first time I saw one, I was like, what is that?
What, a circumcision?
No.
Oh. You saw the hood?
Yeah.
Listen. Act like you on the radio.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, you're right.
But it was just because I wasn't used to it, so it wasn't an issue. But I did need to learn, new things.
I did, and this is gonna sound so stupid, but I remember I was like 7th, 8th grade, and it was the first time that I
were you in the locker room?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. So when that locker room part of the email, I was like, you know what? Yeah, my friend EC.
Did you make fun of him?
I did not, because I didn't want to even mention it.
But you thought it was weird.
I did not say a word. To this day, I have not said a word about it. And I mean, he and I are still friends, but I'm like, bro, on everything.
You're silent.
When I looked at, I was like,
your silence speaks volumes.
I was like, what the hell? My homie got a anteater.
Yeah.
Stop. So Meredith, back to you. Were you scared or were you surprised?
I was surprised because I had never encountered something like that before. Was it an issue? No. I kind of added a little bit more fun, to be honest with you.
Okay. All right. The texts are going off right now.
Friction.
All right. The mom is tripping. There's nobody who's going to be watching him in school, and it is not going to be walking around with his stuff out. The mom is tripping. Listen to the dad. This is somebody who's on dad's side.
Okay.
Meredith dancing around the words. It looks like a baby elephant.
This one says, I've never had that done, and I've never been picked on or made fun of. My wife and I both agreed not to snip our son as well.
There you go. So there are people out there who are making this decision on the new information that's available.
Right.
Like, they're like it isn't a social, ill or whatever. It's not going to be making you like some sort of object of.
It wasn't an issue when it came to dating for me. I could see how some people could have been picked on if they were changing in the locker room. You were nice enough not to say anything, but maybe
I wasn't nice.
You're alarmed.
It was just like, I'm not comfortable discussing anybody's business. But it just did not look like. I mean, and you don't want to be the dude that's out there like saying, "Hey, I saw it."
Yeah, okay.
I mean, now I'm sure other people probably had that conversation, but I've been in locker rooms my whole life, and you've seen all kinds,
right,
but you never acknowledge it. So I'm like, bruh, I'm not gonna say nothing.
But
what was that? I went home confused. I was like, yo.
Out of the 863, it says, I just saw a TikTok not too long ago about a woman who her son did not get snipped, and he got an infection down there.
Yeah,
it is definitely possible. I mean, because you have to be more careful with cleaning and everything else. Out of the 863, we have 3 boys. None of them are. And it's very important to show your sons that this is a normal thing and nothing to make fun of.
Right. Exactly. It's just skin. It literally is just skin.
And honestly, the best part about it, I mean, it sounds weird, but you don't know what's normal until way later in life.
Yeah.
So you've only seen, if you're a kid, you've only seen yours.
Yeah.
You don't know about everybody else's until you get to high school or college or the gym or whatever. Then you start, seeing that there's variances and whatever. But you know what I'm saying? To thine own self be true. Do what you got to do.
I think the father needs to just maybe do a little bit more research as to like everything about circumcisions, and I mean maybe he isn't too educated on it, so maybe looking it up, getting more information could give him his mind at ease. I mean
I think he's trying to get her on his side, and I don't think you can debate that. I think it just has to be a hard line, which I always see women win those fights. It is just maybe it's just because I just
that's her baby too.
It is, but I've seen women in the arguments of, hey, that's my son, I want it. I haven't seen a lot of guys win those in my married friend lives.
What if?
Okay.
What if
just the fact that you're laughing?
What if the mother?
Put my finger on the dumb.
What if the mother is looking at your situation and she doesn't want her son to deal with the same thing?
Oh, that could be maybe, always looking out for your kid. Okay, out of the 813, man, I'm pissed at my parents to this day, and I'm 32. They got me passed up on a lot of cat because of that decision.
Because they didn't snip?
That's what it says.
Oh, my God.
So it does make a difference. There's people out there that are kind of weirded out by it.
It's not. I mean, I didn't think it was.
You're blaming your parents because you've missed out on opportunities.
Yeah.
Because of your presentation. You see how I said that?
Yes.
That sound much nicer.
It does.
Okay. So you missed out on some opportunities, and you're mad at your parents. That's wrong. There are guys out there that look just like you and they kill.
Yeah.
So maybe you got to step your game up, player. Don't be mad at your mom and daddy. Don't be mad at them. All right, listen. All right, we siding with dad or we siding with mom?
I don't know.
I could only talk from my experience, and I'm siding with the mom.
Okay, so mom says get it done. Meredith, you don't have boys.
I don't.
Give Anthony a son. What are you deciding if Anthony is differing from the norm?
We've had this conversation.
Oh.
And he would agree with the snip. He would agree with that. If it was important
the presentation of the current state.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's better health-wise. It's better for the presentation.
Out of the 689, listen, anytime you type, you know why she's laughing already? Because she's glanced down at the 2. Anytime you write meat is meat, I am not happy with you.
It's different.
It says, doesn't matter if it's circumcised or not, as long as he practices good hygiene, he will be fine.
I agree.
That was brilliant, but it's following meat is meat. Welcome to the. Oh man!
Out of the 727,
you
can't be mad at your parents for the size.
This is so locker room.
Leaving it there does help.
We're not picking on anybody. Everybody's. It's like a snowflake. Every snowflake is different.
It totally is.
I'm holding myself together.
It's like a fingerprint.
I'm trying to see where you go with this.
It's like unique. A fingerprint. Yeah. It's like a snowflake. It's a beautiful thing, man. Everybody's different.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know?
Not one size fits all.
I don't want anybody to feel shamed because they sitting in the car this morning looking at their parent like,
so who
you hear them, Mom? You did this to me. Like they don't know. Yeah. You don't know any better.
I'm telling you, it never bothered me. It was never an issue.
What does bother me though is when guys have something that they're passionate about for their kid, they don't always get heard.
That's true.
That's the part that bugs me about this thing. With jokes aside, if the dad is really like, hey, I'd like, my son to look like me, or I would like this, or like only time people pay attention to daddy is when he wants to name the kid after them and have a junior. Then they like, ooh, I'm going to let him do that because, he's the daddy. But you don't get to make any real tangible decisions on health because she's laying there and she's the portal.
Right. She just gave birth.
So, dad should be, paid attention to sometimes. And that's my only part of it that really stands out in my head.
Who you sided with?
I'm siding with dad, man. It's like, this is his house. Like, let a dad win.
That's his boy.
That's his boy. He wants his boy. He wants to, when he does, you know how they teach boys how to go with a Cheerio. They float a Cheerio in the toilet, and the boy aims at the Cheerio, and that's how you teach him to go in the bowl because he has an aiming factor. I mean, that's just all my friends that have had sons, they use that.
Okay.
That's a rite of passage that a dad, stands next to his son and they're going and he teaches them and whatever. So I'm sure in that area, you would like that son to see you look like he looks.
Yeah, with a scarf.
And like, what I'm saying? Did you say with a scarf?
Yeah.
Meredith, go wait outside. See, we were at a point right now. We were in a beautiful place.
It's an accessory.
We were in a Simba Mufasa point, and you just Meredith. Damn it, we're done.
Thank you guys for watching the video. For all things wild, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.